girls, quick video. Main message from this video is that when we get something called an acid reacting with a base, our products are salt and water. Okay, so acid plus base equals salt and water. That's the main message that I want you to take away from this video. But here are some typical acids, okay, and here are some typical bases. And now you might not be too sure of what an acid and what a base is. Basically, an acid, okay, we go into more detail if you do chemistry next year, but basically an acid just means anything that likes to give away a hydrogen ion. Okay, so if it likes to give away a hydrogen ion, it kind of makes sense that it's got to have a hydrogen in it to give away. Acids like to, it's called donating a hydrogen ion. Okay, now bases, they, see how these all end with hydroxide? Okay, but bases basically, main message is that they like to receive a H ion. Okay, so acids like to give away H, a H proton, a H ion, and bases like to receive one. Okay, so let's have a look at acids. Like I said, not too much detail this year, but if you want to identify an acid, usually they have a H at the start. See that? And with bases, hydroxide, usually have a hydroxide at the end of them. All right? So if we think about this, if these acids each give a H to a base, let's just have a look at that. So they're giving away a H and they're giving it to this thing called a base, which always has this OH in it. So if you think about those two things coming together, because the acid gives that to the base, which always has this, can we see that that's actually H2O? So that's one of the reasons why we get H2O when we have an acid plus a base reaction. Okay, so that's just a quick little overview there. A little bit messy, but let's just take a step back and have a look at our example down here. So from our list of acids and bases, we can select some examples from the above reaction. So they've just chosen randomly HCl as their acid and NaOH as the base. We know that we always get a salt, that's our salt here, and water. So cool. Now, how do we know what salt it is? This is key little bit of information here. The salt is made from the first part of the base and the last part of the acid. Okay, what does that mean? Well, let's just circle both those things. So the first part of the base, these are all our bases. This is our base here. So what's the first part of our base? Well, it's the sodium, isn't it? That's the first part of the base, so sodium. And then the last part of the acid. So this is my acid. And the last part of my acid, if I cut away that H there, that's the last part of my acid. So that's going to make up the second part of my salt. So this is my salt here, NaCl, and then I always get that water as well being formed. So this is from the HCl plus the NaOH. So just a little quick overview there. I'll do an example in a second of how we go about doing these, but main message, acid has H at the beginning usually, okay, acid plus a base, which has this OH at the end. We take the first part of the base and connect that with the second part of the acid to make our salt, and we get water being formed as well.